really well done. Just such a brilliant concept, executed really well here. Do a great job at building up that suspense for us, right up to the reveal. Just, yeah, really well executed, performed well. I just really enjoyed everything about this one, and I thought it was just really strong and a strong message worth
It
checking
was
out.
actually a
George.
really surprisingly well done short film. I was surprised by it, really. I didn't know at first what I was really watching. Then at some point, I realized that there was something happening with the character where the character was being perceived by the outside world in one way, and then at the end, the main character sees himself in the mirror and has a totally different perception of themselves. Um, yeah, I think it's a really interesting food for thought. I think it's a reminder that what we understand of ourselves or what we see of ourselves is not necessarily how the world is receiving us. Um, and that's okay, really, that there is something empowering with that knowledge that my perception of me is probably different than how other people perceive me. Um, and I don't think it's either good or bad, but it's just a reality
I really
oftentimes.
like when short films using like the narrative technique of like like learn about the protagonist a lot by the way other people react to the protagonist, the way other people see the protagonist versus how they see themselves. I think you can get a lot of character really easily with that. Um, like reveal a lot of character really well with that, and I think that they this is a masterclass in how to do that. I really like the technique of just following this character and not seeing their face until the very end because like and holding that information from us and like so we see how everybody else sees them and then see how they see themselves. That is excellent storytelling. Excellent camera work that could not have been easy to track for that long, and keep everything in frame and in focus and lit well. So that excellent cinematography, excellent performance. Overall, great job.
This is a beautiful film. I love how this was shot from his point of view from behind. It was so brilliant, so beautifully done. And to bookend it with a carousel, to start with a carousel and then to end with a carousel was brilliant as well. Every actor did their job, did it really well. Wasn't overstated, but you could see how they felt about this person walking toward them. It's just really, really great. It was really great. I loved the end. I loved the insight into the torment that people who don't feel like they belong in the body that they're in feel. It's just beautifully shot, and very little dialogue, if any at all. Just those two gentlemen, and there didn't need to be. There just didn't need to be much more than that. And the story was clear, beautifully clear. So yeah, congratulations. I need everyone to see this. It's really important. It's an important little film, and it's not little. It's that's the beauty of it. Is it's short, but it's big and it's important. So congratulations, really well
That
done.
created a lot of, I don't want to say suspense, but a lot of sort of mystique around the person we were following, and we didn't get to see their face until the film was almost over. We were just seeing everyone's reaction to their face, which I think served the function of putting me as the viewer in that person's shoes and seeing everybody else's reactions and the way that they were not treating this person as normal or accepted, the way that they would have kind of these different either disgust or alienation of some form or ridicule. I think the fact that we weren't we as the audience were not looking at that person, we were looking as that person, created a lot of empathy for that person's experience. And then at the end, you finally see them and you see the distance between how they perceive themselves or how they want to be perceived and how the world sees them. And I think that creates a lot of empathy and depth and understanding about one aspect potentially of the experience of being trans and having body dysmorphia, or dysphoria rather, where you feel differently on the inside than how people are perceiving you or categorizing you from the outside. So that was very moving, very touching, and I think, like I said, very much like empathy building around an aspect of that experience.
Such a powerful short that really knew what they were doing and they executed it so well. Having the perspective of what it must feel like to be a trans person and going through transitioning was done so well in this, especially for something with like almost little to no dialogue. It had such a powerful message behind it, and you really understood the emotions of what was happening. Something that I really did enjoy was the first like 75% of it being or following the character and following them walking around and experiencing what it must feel like to have people stare at you and to give you side eye and questioning looks. But on the few shots where we saw the character walking, we could see that they were walking with such a confidence about them and with such an ease that you knew that they were comfortable with themselves, even though everyone else in the world wasn't. So what I really loved about that was being able to see through their eyes and see their perspective of it. And then the plot twist, I suppose, is when they go up to the mirror and they see what they see themselves as and who they see themselves as. It was just really well thought out. It was a simple message and yet so powerful at the same time. The way it was executed was just really genius. It really makes people, or I guess myself at least, question everything and try and be more empathetic by giving more perspectives of like even where your camera is placed to show what it feels like to be on the receiving end of these stares and so on and so forth. Anyways, really great job overall. So yeah, good job.
I thought this was a fascinating concept, and I loved that device of never seeing our lead until the very end. And we see them how they want to see themselves and how they feel. But our only conception of the character is their actions and how others react to them. And seeing the people either accepting or denying or ridiculing them as they carried on their path was pretty fascinating. It almost felt like a Fellini-esque sort of crowd scene moment. I think starting on the carousel as a place of innocence and childhood, and then returning to that innocence at the end, again with the toy carousel, almost as if they're stuck in a past place. Or for me, it felt more hope-filled of reclaiming the path that they've always felt inside them and reliving from the beginning how they wish to have been seen, and taking a claim of their identity and their choices and their directions. In terms of filmmaking, I thought that there's a really great interplay of shadows and light in revealing and concealing and what is shown. And it just made for a very psychologically rich and nuanced piece.